Hello and welcome to Girona. I'm here to race the Girona Single Track Challenge. That's a 3-day mountain bike stage race, and this is the bike I'm going to use for it. This is my Mason Raw. It looks all shiny and new, but it's actually an old bike. It's 2 or 3 years old. It was one of the original prototypes. It used to be yellow, but I've had it resprayed. It was just getting a little bit tired. Bike packing trips can be quite hard on paintwork, especially off-road. So Mason stripped it down, sent it back to Fiveland in Scotland, which is the workshop where they're made. And then they repainted it, and this is the new Optic Green colourway. Now, componentry wise, on the front I'm running the SID Ultimate 120mm front suspension fork. It's pretty good, it's nice and stiff around here. It's a fairly slack geometry. It's closer to kind of well, almost a trail bike. It's probably not ideal for an XC race. You know, the modern XC bikes are probably a little bit steeper and a little bit more snappier. But once I get up the climbs, it's going to absolutely nail it down the other side. In terms of drivetrain, I'm just running 12-speed Shimano XT. It's got a 1150, I think, cassette. I don't really know, to be honest. 1150 cassette, let's say. And I think I've got a 34-tooth chainring. And that should be plenty for around here. Brakes are also Shimano XT. I find these super reliable, and I run the sintered pads, so they'll last for ages. 180 rotor on the front, and then a slightly smaller 160 on the rear. On the fork, I'm also running this little bolt-on plastic mudguard. I find it really useful. It doesn't weigh very much. It just stops the dust coming up when it's dry like this, or if you live in the UK, it stops mud getting in your face, which is excellent. And it also stops all the gunk getting in your headset, so I find that helps that last a little bit longer. Bars I'm running, these are actually a small British brand called Mount Zoom. They're super light, 710 wide. And then I've got my, obviously, XT shifter. I'm actually running my dropper lever on the right hand side. Normally it would go on the left, but I've got the lockout for the fork on the left hand side, and I can't quite fit it on there neatly. I could put it upside down above it, but it just looks really weird. I don't really like stuff sticking up high. So I've put it on the right hand side. Kind of works. It's just programming my head to make sure I press the right button. Obviously I've got my race number on the front here. Got my pretty reliable Wahoo Element. It's one of the original ones, although it is starting to show signs of going a little bit wrong. It doesn't like loading maps up anymore, I'm afraid, which is a little bit tricky for a single track mountain bike race. But there we go. If you've got any suggestions what I should get next, whether I should just go for the new Element Rome or try something else, just let me know. I've also, like spares wise, I've got my quick link on the bars. I've got a tube, and then I'll take with me a multi-tool, a tyre lever, and then just a tubeless tyre plug, and that should hopefully get me through most things. I've got a pump just the other side of this bottle here as well, and I'm carrying two bottle cages, probably 600ml bottles for the shorter stages, and then 750, 800ml bottles for the longer stage in the middle. There's basically a 50k stage, an 80k stage, and then another 50k stage. So yeah, so that middle one probably be 4.5 hours or so, so I need plenty of fluid. The dropper seat post I'm running is a PNW one. That's just a standard spec that Mason run. Then I've got my old faithful WTB Hightail saddle on there. They don't make these anymore, but I've got a little bit of a stash, and I quite like them. They're kind of flat and wide, not too heavy, and they work really well. Now the golden question, tyres. I am actually sponsored by Reners, but they don't make mountain bike tyres, so I kind of have you know, free reign to use whichever tyres I like on the mountain bike. I've ended up using these Hutchinson. I've got a Taipan on the front. It's actually a 2.25 on the front. So this just gives me a little bit more grip. Forecast might be a little bit iffy for one of the stages, so I've just gone for a grippier front just in case. And obviously running tubeless on the Hunt wheels. So the wheels I've gone for are the Hunt Race XC wheels. These are the lightest mountain bike wheels they do. It's not a super wide rim, but it just saves as much weight as possible, and you know, it's not super bouldery around here, hopefully anyway, so I don't need quite so much tyre volume, and to be honest, I need all the help I can get on the climbs, so the lightest wheel set does me a favour, and they've got like straight pull spokes and things like that just to keep the weight down. On the rear tyre, again Hutchinson, it's different to the front. This is a Kraken. This is actually a 2.3. I would run a 2.3 on the front, I don't have one, so I've got 2.25 on the front, 2.3 on the rear, but that kind of works okay. At least I have a little bit more volume on the back for kind of those heavier hits. I'm running about 18 psi on the back and probably 16, 17 on the front. So yeah, I'll just sort of tweak it as the stages go through. Yeah, and this rear tyre, it rolls fairly well, but it's got some decent side knobs. They do a skinnier version, like a smaller tread, but I just don't want to take risks, so I'll run that one. So that's my setup for the Girona Single Track 3-day mountain bike stage race. Hopefully it works out all right. I'm going to put a video together from the race itself, so keep an eye out for that. And yeah, see how I get on with it. Once again, thanks for watching, like and subscribe and all of that nonsense, and see you in the next one.